All right then. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the probably first community stream for the Swiss Overwatch World Cup 2018 team. My name is Sharper, and I'm gonna be not only general manager but also host for tonight, so to speak. We're gonna start off by introducing ourselves because obviously you want to know who your staff management is. So I'm gonna start off with myself, if that's okay. My name is Sharper, aka Sandro Nowoczin. Actually, the other way around, but that's not so important. I'm probably in Swiss esports for over 6 years now. Used to play League of Legends, then I swapped over to Overwatch. And Overwatch, I was here since the beginning in various teams with various top rankings. I have coached multiple teams, and lately I have been also become more involved in the organizing part of things, namely with Pre-Fire and the SCSL. So yeah, that's short about me. I'll hand it over now to your coach, Shino.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maxime Delavy, known as Chen or Shin or Shino, whatever, doesn't matter. I've been playing since, 1999, Counter-Strike, Beta 4. I've been in clans, in Swiss clans like Skill and Red White back in the days. Went to Korea in 2002 to represent Switzerland for the World Cyber Games. And from then, I played many games like Day of Defeat, Frontline Force, Costa Rican, in kind of top teams. And now I'm coaching the Lausanne Sport Esports Overwatch team for a year. And that's about it.
Well, then, last but not least, obviously the one who also set up the stream for us today, Dürler, aka Be Frozen. What can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, as you mentioned, my name is Andrew or Andreas Dürler with the gamer tag Be Frozen, also known as Dürler. I'm 28, live here in Lucerne. I play video games since like forever, with Age of Empires 1 starting, Diablo 2, whatever. The first competitive experience I've had was in Halo 2, I guess. 1v1 ladder in the ESL. And after that, I focused myself on my career, my school. And I just found time after I achieved the first step I wanted. I went into Overwatch. I thought it would be my game to start off. Got introduced in the Swiss esports scene and went into the organization of Synergy Esports, which is now known as Unity Esports. I've been there in team diversity as the captain and for the first 2 months as shot caller. Now I'm here with you guys.
Yeah, so shortly said, that's the committee you're gonna have to deal with. Let's hope you don't have to deal with, but you can enjoy us as committee for the Overwatch World Cup. And just first things first, a few info we can give you what are the presets we have to work with is for the tryouts. We're gonna have the deadline until July 5th or July 6th at 1 a.m., something like that. Until then, we're gonna have to submit a roster from 7 up to 12 players that is going to be approved or not approved by Blizzard. And once they send us back their approval, we can start working with the full roster and start practicing. As many of you know, there is still no official date set yet as to when the group stage is, so it's not just that I can't tell you, I really don't know. So we all have the same presets to work with here, and all we can do is trying to make the best out of it. So we're gonna start off a bit first talking about what approaches we take, and let's say we start off about how we do tryouts and that kind of stuff, and then we go over a bit to the social media and tell more about the logos and maybe also the hashtag, how that is gonna proceed. So I'm gonna hand over the word once more to Coach. You can tell us about how the tryout phase more or less is gonna go.
All right. So first thing first, you still have till tomorrow to apply if you want to be a tryout or have a shot to be a tryout. You have more time to send me VODs, because once you applied, we have the list, and that's all we want to have. So we have a better picture of who's want to play for Team Switzerland. VODs can come later, it's all right. Just don't take too much time. So let's say from now on, you need to send me VODs if you want to before a week. Let's say next Tuesday, next Wednesday. So if you deserve a shot, you still have time to be in the tryout roster. Now, as some people may know, we're gonna do our first tryout tomorrow with 6 defined players. It's gonna be Shinoda, Lux, Kiba, Helv, Scorpion, and Remix. This is the first lineup. Doesn't mean much. We just wanted to try out this lineup first, and then we'll come later on with different dates for different tryouts. And I think that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing everyone has to keep in mind, we have about, I think, 17 or 18 tryouts marked. Our goal is to get at least everyone have to play once, so we get a picture of them. But one thing you have to keep in mind, it's 1 month we have to work with. So not everyone is gonna play 5 times or something, simply because there's no time for that. I wish we had 3 months of time for it, but we don't. So keep in mind that's the presets we have to work with, and we're trying to make the best out of it. Now, obviously, once the trial phase is over, we're gonna have the roster when it's approved, and then it also depends, obviously, a bit on when the tournament is gonna be for us. But overall, I think we agreed that we want to practice at least 3 times a week, possibly 4 times or something like 3 times plus 1 time, like, let's say, theory crafting / WOD review. Simply because I know we in Switzerland, everyone has a job, and we accept that. We cannot play 7 times a week. That's really tough, but we still want to have the best shot. So we expect the players also to invest time, because you're getting sent over there to play for Switzerland, and you're getting paid to do so by Blizzard. So I think it's fair enough that you also invest time. Now let's go over to our head of social media, the guy who's gonna give you the story of Switzerland, hopefully getting far in that World Cup, Dürler. Now, a lot of people probably have seen about logo submissions, about the tweet we had with our, how should I say it, our mother and so on. What can we expect in the next days and weeks from the social media aspect?
Yeah, as already mentioned, the first social media we opened was Twitter. It's until now the only one. We're gonna expand that to Instagram, YouTube, maybe Facebook, but we are not really clear because Facebook's kind of dead. But it could be an addition. And the first step we took was we're looking for a hashtag, an official one that we can use, spam wherever we want. And the entry is gonna end on this Thursday. So after that we speak together in the committee. We choose our 6 top and let you, the community, vote once again, finally, for the final, the official hashtag. Around this, we could maybe build our appearance on social media. Depends on what exactly the hashtag is. And then we just start growing our appearance overall. It's just crucial that we just have an official hashtag at first, and the logo. Logo, as many of you as have already seen, is in progress in our Discord server. It's well discussed about. We have some volunteers putting in some work and have some astonishing results so far. My goal is to have at least at the end of the week, early weekend, the logo set, the hashtag set, and then I'm already on a strategic plan, on a mind board, what it's going to be, what content we are going to create, who can help us, and which direction it's going to be. And this will be published also as soon as we know it, definitely. But you can expect player interviews, the story of the players. We also have in mind like a map, an interactive, some ideas like that. And also the journey to the United States, sometimes live streams. Yeah, be surprised, and whoever has an idea, just pop it in. I'm gonna note it by myself, and maybe we can try and do it.
Yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of going on behind the scenes, maybe also that you don't know about. If you obviously have ideas, always be sure to check by in the Overwatch World Cup Discord, which you can find on the Overwatch World Cup Twitter, or just stop by any one of us, message us. For most social media stuff, you can obviously go directly to Dürler, but you can also come either to Sheena or me, and we're gonna redirect it if needed. We're open to suggestions, to ideas, and also all sorts of these things, because in the end it's still like a community event, so to speak. Like, even if you don't get to play, we want that the team or like the community can decide how the team is gonna look like with the design and stuff. Now, for the logo submissions, as Dürler said, keep on bringing them. Like, there's a logo submissions chat in the World Cup Discord. If you have an idea, stop by there, send it to Dürler. And I assume we're also gonna sort out 1 or 2 or 3 favorites, and then make a vote and see
Exactly
which one is gonna come out on ahead. So yeah, this is for the most the starting part, let's say like this. Now for the rest, half an hour or more or less, we're gonna hover over more to you guys, questions that have been asked already, or questions that are just popping up now in chat, because we cannot talk too much about anything yet, because everything is still being built and so on. So I'm just gonna start off with some questions that we had in the Discord. Let's see. One is already answered about the date. The tryout phase is also kind of answered, where you can sign up for tryouts. Maybe Dürler, you could post the Google form link in your chat. Is that possible? I don't think I have mod, so it would probably get deleted. How you can support our guys? Bring ideas, straight up, bring ideas, or just let us know that you can do X. For example, if you have some knowledge in graphical design, you can let us know that, and we can come back to you if we need something, for example. I'm gonna go now down to a bit more narrowed down or more specific questions, and let them just be discussed also with the people that are maybe more responsible for that. So we're gonna start off with Kilborn's question about thoughts on the current metagame and how it suits Switzerland. Maybe Shino, you as coach, well, what do you think about that question? Is that even something we can answer yet?
Kilborn question, thoughts on the current meta game and how it suits Switzerland, right?
Exactly.
Hey, that's a tough one, because the competition is gonna be like August till October, or I mean between those 3 months. So we don't know yet. And the meta can shift. I mean, we still haven't seen Enzo in Overwatch League, so it's gonna be interesting to see how teams utilize Enzo and play around Enzo in the later stage and of the Overwatch League. I think we have decent projectile players and good tank players. So maybe for this meta, who's a bit more tanky than before, well, definitely more tanky since he used to be dive. We're probably just fine. Yeah.
Well, then maybe go over about the expectations directly. Like, what are the committee's expectations considering Switzerland's group? As a reminder, I think we are playing against USA, Canada,
Brazil.
Norway, Brazil,
and Austria.
Austria. Yeah, so what are our expectations?
Well, straight up. Apparently the first two teams make it out of the group.
Exactly.
So there's no big surprise here. I mean, we'll have to beat either Canada or USA. And considering the fact that they have probably 6 pro players in each team, it's gonna be hard, but doesn't matter. We give our best. We are planning to build a team to give Switzerland the best shot we can have, and let's see what's happening.
Yeah, I honestly agree. Like, the chances of winning with them against them are low, but we should still try our best to do so, because Arrow can have a bad day and maybe suddenly you upset them. So
Everything can happen.
everything can happen, exactly. And let's go over, like, there's like been a couple of questions going in the same direction. For example, DNA asked what if a teammate who has chosen doesn't fit in the roster anymore, or Lux asked what happens if many players would think that a specific player isn't good enough or doesn't fit into the committee, but the committee would think otherwise. Generally speaking, we can also answer that like with a question that was in a forum. We asked you in the application form if there are players that you prefer to play with, like old teammates, for example, or players that you less prefer to play with, whether maybe you have some personal issues or you just don't think they're good enough. So it also goes in that direction. So if there would be an uproar that 5 players of 8 players that we have on the narrowed down players list would say, I don't think this player is good, we wouldn't ignore it. We would consider it as feedback and then reevaluate our decision. So what you say can have influence, because in the end we also need to see that like the team works out as a team, and sometimes it's the best roster isn't always the roster with the 6 most mechanical skill players. Let's answer it like that, or at least in my opinion. So we'll take feedback seriously. So I don't think or don't hope that will happen. Did I talk about what if 2 players are sick already? I don't remember. Did I start off with that?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. So many people asked, for example, let's make an example. Mimi and Remix are both coming there and both brothers have a car accident, or I don't know, both brothers break an arm and cannot play anymore. The rule set states that if more than 1 player, so if more than that's up, isn't literally or available to play, one of the committee can jump in as a player. So that's already handled in the rule set. So 2 players would be really sick. One of us could try their shot at being a player on the stage, I guess. Obviously, we don't hope. We don't hope that happens. unlucky remix driving skills. Yeah, you're probably not gonna have to drive there. Or I don't think so. Let's pair like two questions together. One is about additional coaching stuff. DNA then asked about hiring a sports psychologist for tilt and all that stuff. Like, yeah, I'd say that is an open question to both of you and me together, but let's maybe ask Thierry first so he also can get his word out there again. What do you think of getting more people involved in this, like more professional people? Is that something we can do or even consider to do?
I think there's the financial part, which I don't think will be a huge problem. As you mentioned, there is like a little bit budget we get. When we lay together as a team, it will be easy accessible. And I think also it's a benefit as a additional meaning or an additional thought about the team. Someone's outstanding, someone who really had experience in a tier 1, 2 team. So why not? Especially when we consider the psychologist. I mean, most of us people haven't even been on such a large event live, and no one really knows how they're gonna react to that. It could be everything. I can remember my first LAN. I couldn't properly play the first map because I was so nervous. So we don't know that yet. Maybe it's a consideration worth.
Sheena, what do you think? Should we get another coach in that has more professional experience? Maybe like my thought is we could get some help in, but not that he, let's say, takes over the team as a head
absolutely.
coach. That's what I think. What do you think about that?
I think it will be awesome to have a work with a professional coach, and that can give the team insights and advices. But you know, it's probably a budget problem more than other thing. But yeah, it definitely will improve the stability and be more tilt proof and work more together as a team, which has to be one of our quality if we pretend to even make a close match versus USA and Canada.
Yeah. So about the sponsoring part, I can just say like we're not allowed to have big sponsors or straight up sponsors. So, or at least that's what the rule set states. So we cannot go to, I don't know, Swisscom, Samsung, Sunrise and be like, hey, here, become head sponsor of our team. That's not something that can work. So as mentioned, there would have to be money that would mostly be self-invested. But yeah, that's something that probably would be considered when the roster is built already. Let's go to another question that had a lot of upvotes, or let's say reactions, where Mimi asked against which teams we scrim for tryouts, because if you scrim with one setup against 4K team and another setup against 4.4K team, obviously that doesn't show like too much significance. Our goal is like, let's say like this, we should be having an invite to the Overwatch Discord soon when they finally made that, soon TM. And then one thing we surely want is to try out versus other countries, straight up. As for the other thing, we have to kind of work together as community yet again. Like, for example, Luft has offered me that I can ask him for tier 2, tier 3 not tryouts, for scrims, if we need some. And I also know that Killerborn and Health and maybe the Silent guys, for example, will have higher scrim partners as well. So we're gonna reach out to you players as well. Currently, we're looking for the scrim tomorrow, but this is something we gotta have to work together. And we're also gonna obviously maybe contact other countries now via social media, as long as there's no official Discord out yet. So we can maybe set up something with, I don't know, Germany, or even, I wouldn't even mind if we played Austria during the tryout phase. Like, I don't think it would be a bad thing. So we're putting thought into this. So it's obvious that there's a difference between a 4.4 and a 4K scrim. So we're aware of that. So I don't think you need to be too worried about that thought, that we would not value it correctly. Let's see. There's questions about IRL events during the Overwatch World Cup. Depends on what events you mean. Dürler covered that we're maybe gonna, I'm not sure if we can stream from there, but Instagram is surely a thing. So pictures are going to be a thing of the whole traveling and all that. Someone asked about public viewings.
I bet there's
in
gonna be.
Switzerland. I bet there's gonna be, yes, but I'm not sure if that should be our job to organize them.
I mean, 2 stations I already know which will be willingly, so without even asking. So I think it's not hard to set up.
Yeah.
But it's not like the first priority we have now.
Exactly. Like, it's not like, so if you want to do this, you can again contact us, and we're gonna distribute it over Discord and also Twitter. Advertise for it a bit, of course, but that's not our number one priority list. Then Himmelman asked about whether we are in discussion with the SCSF and whether they are willing to give us resources of any kind to help the committee or players. Straight up said, no, we aren't in discussion with the SCSF right now, simply because it is not the IESF World Cup. Like, the SCSF isn't directly involved with the Overwatch World Cup, thus we aren't in contact with them. If they want to help us, they are more than allowed to contact me, and we can talk about things that maybe they can offer us or help us. But since there is, for example, no sponsoring allowed, I don't see how many resources the SCSF can give to us. But I'm more than open to be enlightened and have my mind changed.
I can maybe give some additional to that. Also, like the Swiss media, the SRF or the 20 Minutes or the French part media will be contacted, but first we really have to have the design nailed down so we can provide a more professional appearance to them. This is also going to go hand in hand with the SCSF approach.
Yeah, and then someone asked about the tryouts, how we will handle the tryouts from Lausanne, so nobody has an advantage or disadvantage. Honestly, I don't think that's going to be a big problem, simply because Shin has been, he's a bit more experienced now as well, so he's professional in that approach. And the other thing is that we're going to do it together, so we're always exchanging our opinions, and I don't see that being a problem. So you don't have to be worried that, like, we cannot even have a full Lausanne roster because Lausanne doesn't even have a full roster at the moment. So there's that. There's nothing you have to be worried about. I think everyone knows how to take the approach of this position.
Yeah, it's a good thing you answered for me, because it makes it look more legit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can also give your point of view, but I don't think that should be a problem, like, or people should be scared, simply because already of the tryout list we have, there's not just Lausanne players, right? So
yeah, and the goal is to build the best team possible. That's it. Punkt, Schluss.
Yeah, so I think I've covered or we covered most of the questions that were asked beforehand. So we
And he's gone.
And he's okay.
whoops,
Welcome back.
wrong button. Yeah, wrong button. I accidentally joined on our disk. But yeah, we still have some time here, so this is now the time to shine for you guys in the chat. You can ask some more questions. And once we're out of questions, we're
There's
gonna
one
end the stream for
question
today. Yes.
Zoneris asked, can't you just create 2 tryout teams and let them scream against each other? I think that's a possibility. But firstly, we need to do tryouts with 6 people playing versus random guys, or more likely high skilled teams, but you know what I mean? So maybe if you want to do a 6 versus 6 in an internal way, we have more insight, more informations to try balancing the teams and see what's going on. But it's definitely doable, I think.
Yeah, to follow it up, there's also again a question about like the 7th player. What role do you think,
Yeah.
what role or hero pool do you think the 7th player should have? I'll let you give your insight first there.
Okay, so we discussed this with Chopper, and I'm gonna tell what you think and what I think. So if I'm wrong, you just cut me straight up. Shaba thinks that we probably need a second main tank because main tank, especially in this meta, kind of dictates and the path of the game, which I agree. Thing is, I assume that maybe we need a DPS as 7th player because it's easier to mess a game when you're playing DPS and not hitting your shots and stuff like this than it is as main tank. You can still mess up totally as main tank, not shielding shadows, pinning in wrong direction, shadowing into the shield, etc. But yeah, for now on, we still have to decide it. And there's still a third option, having someone who can play, like basically, who can flex. TPS, projectile mainly, Diva, well, off tank, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that narrows it down. Like, we probably both agree the least role that we should give that 7th player would be support, because simply there's not enough variety in support heroes. So unless it's like a player that can play support, tank, and DPS, then okay. But yeah, there's about that. Someone asked about the jerseys. Blizzard is gonna make the jerseys. That's what I know about it. I'm not sure if there's gonna be like a merch store or something like that where you can buy them, but yeah.
If there will be, we will let you know as soon as you know.
Exactly. We also don't know, like, maybe they're gonna do it in the style of OWL where every player has a number. I actually don't remember how it was last year, whether players had number or not, but design and all that stuff is up to Blizzard. So yet again, something we cannot know yet.
Who do you think you can? Yeah. Who do you think you can beat in your group? Well, USA and Canada are gonna be real hard. I think we spoke about that, and Brazil has a very large community, sorry. So they probably have good players too. I think it's gonna be either Austria, Norway. I think this is our best shot. and maybe Sharper, you know the team better than I do, so you have more input on maybe who's potentially is going to play for these two teams.
I just know, or well, know as tough to say, but I know that Kabachi said that he will not play for Austria, which would be a good thing for us because I think Kabachi is a really good player. But I'd agree, like Austria on paper with Brazil together should be the easiest opponents, though we need to be careful because, as you mentioned, Brazil has some really good players potentially. For example, I think Hydration is also Brazil from there, but I'm not entirely sure. Norway is probably going to be harder already, but I see them as an enemy that we can upset. And for Canada and USA, I'm not saying we cannot win, but like we need a Wunder from Bern. So yeah. All right. Are there any more questions, guys? Because I think otherwise we mostly covered it.
Language.
I don't know if it's relevant, but is anyone going to the Montreux Jazz Festival? I'm not. Maybe Shino?
Maybe.
Yeah, of course I will do. I will go there. Yeah. Meet me on the weekends. The youths bar in the corner. I'll be there.
Well, yeah, I'd say then let's first round it up. Obviously, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the Discord. I'll keep the questions tab open there. You can always post them in there, and maybe one of us will go ahead and answer it. If you have commissions or ideas, make sure to contact us. And otherwise, yeah, let's hope for the best for Switzerland, and let's hope we can make something great happen.
Yep.
That being said, have a nice evening, guys.
Yeah. Hope Schweiz.
Hope
See ya.
See you guys. Bye bye.